The air reeked of rotten, damp stone. Not just death. Old death. Thick, clinging, ancient. It sat in his lungs like ash. Lucien's eyes snapped open, and for a moment, the darkness pressed back. He couldn't see. Not because there was nothing to see, but because something refused to be seen. His body was splayed across cold stone, rough and uneven beneath him. Dust coated his lips. His tongue tasted of iron. His breathing came slow and shallow, as though he'd forgotten how. Where am I? The question floated, thin and uncertain, like a dream half-remembered. He sat up slowly, muscles trembling, not with pain but with estrangement, as though this body belonged to someone else. His limbs moved with the heaviness of forgotten time. He glanced down. No wounds, no blood, just skin pale with death sleep and dust caked like a burial shroud. His fingers flexed, and a jolt ran up his forearm. Not pain, echoes. Like something else had once warned him from the inside. And yet, despite the emptiness in his memory, a single thought pulsed like a heartbeat. I am not supposed to be dead. Lucien stood, careful and quiet, his bare feet brushing against scattered pebbles and broken bone. The silence wasn't empty, it was held, suspended, like the tomb itself was holding its breath. The crypt stretched wide around him, swallowed in unnatural gloom. The only light was a dim blue glow leaking from the carvings on the walls. Sigils etched in something metallic and iridescent, like they'd been cut by a blade made of night. The air carried a low hum, so faint it danced at the edge of perception, like a prayer whispered between tombstones. He took it in, the ceiling above, just out of reach, lost to shadow. Pillars crumbled into skeletal fragments, walls lined with reliefs of warriors, or butchers. And in every direction, stillness. His heart beat louder than the crypt. Lucien swallowed the silence and let it settle inside him. This place was not for the living, but then again, maybe neither was he. Lucien stepped forward, the sound of his own footsteps muffled against the dust-laden stone. The air seemed thicker now, like he was walking through breathless lungs. The further he moved, the more the silence distorted, not breaking, but bending, as if some vast awareness shifted in the dark to regard him. The crypt sloped downward, corridor after corridor spiraling like a forgotten memory. Each wall he passed was lined with carvings worn by centuries of neglect. Armored figures with eyes hollowed out, wings broken, mouths sewn shut. Some frescoes bled into one another, their meanings corrupted, twisted beyond recognition. They seemed to squirm under his gaze, a trick of the dark, he told himself. But it didn't feel like a trick. As he turned a corner, a dry sound tickled the edge of his hearing. Clatter, bone on stone. He froze. Stillness returned, but it wasn't the same. It felt staged, like a stage curtain drawn too slowly. Whatever made that sound was still near, watching. Lucien's heartbeat slowed, not from calm, from control. His body moved into readiness on its own. No weapon, but his stance narrowed. His breath grew shallow. The crypt widened into a chamber, smaller than the first, but denser, almost womb-like. A faint blue luminescence bloomed from cracks in the floor like veins of dying starlight. And at the room's center, a pedestal. Not marble, not stone. Bone, polished and fused, too smooth to be natural. It pulsed faintly, not with light, but with presence. And there, resting upon its crown, was a weapon. Not just a gun. Not just a blade. A revolver fused to a bayonet. its barrel curved with elegant, dangerous precision. Black metal, ridged and etched with runes that shimmered when viewed from the corner of the eye. The handle looked worn, but familiar. As though it had waited for Lucien longer than he had existed, he stepped closer. Something deep within him reached forward. Not his hand, but something beneath his ribs, something asleep for too long. His fingertips hovered above the grip. Don't touch it. The thought came unbidden. Unclear if it was his or someone else's. And yet, he did. His fingers closed around the weapon. It was warm. Not hot like fire. Warm like blood. A surge shot through his palm and up his arm, like lightning wrapped in grief. His breath caught. His eyes dilated. Power, ancient, bitter, hungry, flooded through him. Voices stirred. Not whispers of language, but tones, emotions, judgment. They coiled around his mind without pushing, not claiming, not welcoming, just observing, weighing him. Lucien's vision blurred for half a breath. He felt the dust beneath his feet scatter, felt the cold stones groan. The crypt did not approve, but the weapon did. He held it steady, and it pulsed once in response, a heartbeat not his own. Then, bones stirred again. This time, closer. The chamber exhaled around him. It was subtle at first. A shift in pressure, a ripple in the quiet. But Lucien felt it. Like something pulling breath into lungs that should have long since collapsed. Then came the first sound, the slow drag of dry bone across stone. Not like a stumble, not chaotic, deliberate. Lucien turned toward the corridor he'd emerged from. From its darkness, a figure lurched forward. No skin, no life, just the scaffolding of a man wrapped in scraps of ruined armor. Its head cocked at an unnatural angle, jaw slack. Hollow sockets locked to Lucien's pulse like a predator descent. It wasn't alone. Behind it came others, crawling, shambling. Some half-formed, some armored in forgotten heraldry, rusted blades clutched in crooked hands. A procession of the unwanted dead. Lucien did not flinch. Duskfang pulsed once. He raised the weapon. It felt inevitable, like it had been made for this moment. The gun aligned with his eye, as if on instinct, a perfect extension of his focus. Bang. The shot cracked like a lightning strike in a tomb. The first corpse's skull imploded, bone fracturing in jagged spirals. But instead of collapsing, the body staggered backward, its movements sluggish, limbs twisting unnaturally. The bullet hadn't just struck. It had rippled through the thing, unmaking something deeper than flesh. Its bones twitched, as if struggling against its own reanimation. Another shot. The corpse stilled. No collapse. No final breath. It simply ceased, like its thread had been cut from reality. Lucien stepped forward, slow and precise. The revolver cylinder glowed faintly, and without motion, it reloaded itself. Black runes along its frame shimmered, etching new bullets from the ether, formed not from metal but memory. The other corpses did not halt. They rushed him now, a cacophony of bone, metal, and rot. Lucien moved, fluid, decisive, not trained, born to it. He pivoted, fired. The shot ripped through one skull and clipped another, both shrieking without mouths. A rusted axe came down. Lucien sidestepped, grabbing the attacker's wrist mid-swing. The bayonet on Duskfang flicked upward in a clean surgical arc. Flesh split. Bone cracked. Ether howled. The blade sank through what should have been dead, yet the creature reacted like a man its body convulsing, spasming as if feeling death a second time. Then it slumped, not falling, but releasing like a soul let go. Lucian exhaled through his nose. Another one came. And another. Each kill felt more precise. The weapon sang in his grip, not with joy, but purpose. It was teaching him something. Or perhaps remembering it with him. The crypt flickered with the recoil of gunfire and ghostlight. The dead came in waves. And Lucian, a revenant among phantoms, cut them down with the silence of inevitability. Eventually, only one remained, crawling on one arm, half a face left, its ruined jaw chattering silently. Lucian paused. He didn't shoot. He stared. The creature froze mid-motion, its empty eye socket watching him, trembling. Lucian lowered the barrel, lips tight. "You remember me, don't you?" The corpse's jaw twisted, a gurgle of air rasping from what should have been breathless lungs. Lucian fired once. Silence returned. But it was not the same silence he woke into. This one had weight, shaped by his will. The crypt's final passage narrowed to a jagged throat of stone, its walls carved by time and dripping with condensation. As Lucian moved forward, the air shifted, cooler now, alive with breath and scent and distance. The first breeze hit him like a memory. Warm, damp, green. Leaves rustled beyond the darkness ahead. Dusk fang's glow dimmed in his palm, as though satisfied, returning to slumber. Lucian kept it close, but lowered it slightly, the weight familiar now. His. Then, light. He stepped through the threshold, and the jungle greeted him. It was dusk. The sky burned in hues of lavender and deep orange, clouds trailing like slow smoke above the canopy. Trees towered around him, thick, ancient trunks with roots like sleeping serpents and vines that curled like fingers in prayer. The soundscape was alive, chirps, distant howls, the rustle of leaves touched by wind. But it was the sky that stopped him. 2 moons hovered above the horizon, hanging low, an unapologetic ally wrong. One pale and vast like a milk-white eye, the other smaller, crimson at the edges, almost bleeding into the clouds. They pulsed faintly, not with light, but with presence. Lucian stared for a long moment. This wasn't some strange afterlife. This was Jamaica, or what remained of it. He could feel the heartbeat of the island beneath his feet, the rhythm of something ancient, something sacred. But the sky, the moons, the way the air felt as though it remembered him, something had changed. Or worse, everything had remained the same, and he had changed. He inhaled deeply. The scent of rain and crushed flowers filled his lungs, familiar and foreign. He knew this soil. He knew this jungle. Somewhere in the silence, a fragment of peace stirred, like an echo from the man he once was, or could have been. And then he saw it. Beyond the treetops, bathed in the orange-pink light of the dying sun, a pyramid rose from the jungle floor. Black stone, sharp angles, towering, perfect. It did not belong. Yet it stood in harmony with the land around it, vines climbing its flanks like worshippers, birds circling its apex. It was not ancient in ruin, but ancient in design, preserved, intact, pristine. Lucian stared at it. A chill slid down his spine. He did not know why, but it filled him with something close to reverence, longing even. I've been here before. The thought slipped into his mind without invitation. His hands tensed at his sides. He couldn't place it. Not a memory. Not yet. But something in the pit of his being responded to the sight of it, the same way his hand had recognized Duskfang before his mind could. The same way the crypt had whispered in silence. This structure, this place, it was waiting for him. Not with open arms, but with open eyes. Lucian stepped into the twilight, the jungle alive around him, the pyramid watching from afar. And though he did not yet remember who he was, the world remembered him.